We're live, I think.
I was about to say, I shall
Yes, we
wait
are live.
with bated
I see my face on the
breath.
screen. We're there.
Well, because I transitioned it and it went to like the other source, and I was like, I only see two audio sources.
We'll just blame the fact that streaming software updated and knocked everything out of whack.
I refused to update it too, and then I just opened it up and I was like, I've updated.
You didn't want to update? Too bad.
You don't like
Hello,
change?
friends. You don't like change? Oh, wait a minute. Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Mind of the Martyr. Episode 87, as I have just been told. Things are going to get quite interesting for this episode here. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into things and get us in as soon as possible. So, with that being said, there's a few folks that help keep Friends to Roll Dice going in the background here. You would have seen one of them, Dice Envy there. Link should be in the chat to our affiliate link, so go ahead and check that out. Nab yourself some beautiful shiny maths rocks. They're maths rocks, because I'm British. It's got an S, it's a plural. Anyway, that's going to get me cancelled. It's fine. That's what the kids say now, isn't it? I'm showing my age. With that,
You're
we
a
do
kid.
also have.
You're
You
like
are a
one of the
kid.
youngest ones in the stream. You are the youngest one in the stream.
I'm 25 going on 105. It's fine. We roll with it. But yeah, with that embarrassment to the side, because I'm nothing if not capable of making a fool of myself, the other folks that we have that wonderfully support us and help us out are Grinding Coffee, a Black LGBT plus owned coffee company. They are fantastic. I hope, that they still have a little bit of their Halloween range going on before they begin to transition into holiday stuff. So if that's your jam, go ahead and check them out. You can get a whole different mix of flavors, blends, and sample packs if you want to try out a few different flavors at the same time. They're great. They're super supportive of folks in the space. Go ahead and check out Grinding Coffee Co. Throw in FWRD for some money off your order. You'll be supporting an independent business. You'll be supporting us and nab yourself some fantastic caffeine in the process. So yeah, go ahead and check them out. And of course, we are a Roll20 ambassador stream. Roll20 is an online toolset that brings pen and paper RPGs online and worldwide. Roll20 is just, it's one of those programs that you can jump into for free and play around and mess around to your heart's content with a group. It's super fun to have a visualization for a lot of some of the more dramatic moments in your TTRPG campaigns. That being said, you can also pay for some pro packages, and that'll help you level up both your playing experience and your GM experience to the next level. I'm bad at using those tools, but there are some fantastic people on the Roll20 site who can just showcase them far better than I can. There's tutorial videos to do so as well. So you can go ahead and head to roll20.net and check that out. You can also go ahead and check out their marketplace, where there's a whole bunch of awesome TTRPGs that have already been converted to Roll20. All you have to do is pick them up and start playing. So yeah, go ahead and check out roll20.net. This is how we roll. All right, that sorts that. So, jumping into the episode here, I'm not going to be mean. We didn't talk about it beforehand, so I'll do a very quick recap of what's going on. With some interesting developments that have been brought to light, a lot of threads beginning to tie between the adventures that this group have been through and been dragged into in some aspects, for some of you at the very least. This mixture of chimeric creatures and strange corruption within the Magicanum, and these individuals popping up from other planes and attempting to reach in and manipulate parts of history. manipulating individuals in the current history, abducting individuals for who knows what purpose. You finally get a name to attach to all of these goings on. Aravathun, an old entity from this other plane that has been encroaching and breaking through on multiple occasions into this material plane. An individual that seems to hold a lot of history with a few figures that you've spoken with, and seems to hold an incredibly worrying and dangerous reputation. Having informed your friend Queen Elowen of the goings on, enough for her to be incredibly concerned, you make your way back to Stonehaven, settle in, and deal with some varying degrees of personal business, as well as resting up, getting yourselves re-prepared for a journey to Scythia, and of course, dinner with the crew, as is ritual at this point. Heading into Scythia, you split up the party for just a moment, partly to deal with your own business, partly to deal with different kinds of your own business, of the more the more relaxed and romantic persuasion, perhaps. One section of the party goes to inform Queen Elowen and think about next steps. The other catches up with Carter at their store and sorts out some business there. We kind of left off the main series here with the two parties beginning to meet back up as you are escorted into a smaller war room of sorts that Queen Elowen has prepared, and looping both Nawi and Dewan into the conversation remotely. We kind of pick up as these talks begin to start about the next steps that the party could possibly take. You'd briefly been informed by Queen Elowen before we got here that she indeed does understand that you are essentially freelancers at this point, although you have done a lot of work for Queen Elowen, and she is incredibly appreciative. And while she understands that you've been kind of roped into this against your will, that she would appreciate any more assistance that you would be able to offer, with correct payment and recompense, of course. A little chatter, and you agreed to possibly help out, and Elowen had described a few different methods that she had in mind of possibly recruiting your aid. We pick up as we step into this war room, and Elowen begins to immediately unroll a few pieces of parchment that were already on the table. You see before you, those folks who are here, a big diagram map, not of Ansaya, but of Veka in total. And there's multiple different pieces of wood and metal in various different shapes and colors that are all pinpricked into sections of the map, as well as small strings that seem to connect places here and there. Strings do seem to be color-coded as well. In this room is actually Jacaranda, Mara, and Hiroki are the ones that are in here currently, right? Cool.
What's and Iris is in the library, I think, at this point? Okay.
Yes.
Passive
perceptions.
19.
It's good. Damn.
20.
Also good. Damn.
Mara's head's always on a swivel. Come on.
Well, Jacaranda just like, I feel like plants like tell her to notice things, and she's just like, oh, really? What?
My sparkles get in the way of my vision. No, that's a
Blinded
normal
by
number.
the
The other two
light.
are like, what's your passive perception? What do you mean passive? I'm actively listening all the time.
Yeah.
I am just a bundle of anxiety. Hyper aware. Cool. Okay. So, Hiroki, nothing kind of pops up to you. For Jacaranda and for Mara, you can kind of tell, taking a quick look around and kind of looking into the corners and things like that. There doesn't seem to be any kind of like hidden guards or traps or anything in this room. This room seems to be the kind of the only place right now that isn't horrendously guarded. There are two individuals who have been posted outside of the door when you all walked in, but other than that, like there is no one else in here but the queen and yourselves. Yeah, she
Now's
wanders
my
over and
chance. Oh,
starts-
wait.
What a plot twist.
We're the bad guys. Gotcha.
No, just Mara.
I
Be the
mean, I don't know. You saw
baddies.
my solo one-on-one.
Yeah, so she begins to wander up and undo some parchments and kind of also pin them open onto the board here. Just all right. You had mentioned that you'd looked in your friends, correct?
Yep, they can hear you.
Wonderful. Well, as I mentioned before, there are some interesting developments that have taken place. It turns out that events were perhaps not so localized as we thought. There are multiple areas, multiple allies that have reported incredibly strange goings on, and we've all tried to move to support each other as best we can, but that means that, well, with the additional manpower, with the checkpoints and guarding the castle, and also making sure that there's more than enough guards to patrol the city and protect people and look after everyone, we're running short. There are 3 different tasks that are a little too important for me to send untrustworthy individuals to. All 3 are dangerous in their own different ways, but, well, I know you're capable. So, here's the situation. She steps up and kind of lines up 3 of these parchments right next to each other. And as she sighs for a moment and collects herself, all right, so let's start with the closest one towards you first. And bless you, by the way. I know that a few of you, or a couple of you perhaps, had run into Sinclair during your brief stint with your party in Zenri, considering all of the goings-on that happened there. I'm currently in the midst of sending a small team back into the Deadlands in Zenri. I'm hoping to find some kind of evidence in the disappearances that had happened there. Something a little more out of the way, perhaps a little more dangerous. A lot of the wildlife there seems to have gotten even more aggressive. Seem to be attempting to bypass the walls and also try and reclaim the town there, the city there, I should say.
What's left of it?
What's left of it, indeed. Normally, I would expect other powers that be to be involved in that situation. You know, keep control of the wildlife, make sure that their territory, so to speak, is not being encroached on, but doesn't seem to be the case, and we're concerned about why. Could be completely unrelated, but either way, the chance to look into things and possibly find another lead would be foolish to ignore. That would be one mission there. I actually already have a friend of yours. I sent Torn to do some recon there. He was getting a little antsy standing around the castle, so thought it best to let him stretch his legs. Second is perhaps the most dangerous. I'm not sure how aware you are, but there is a network of tunnels underneath this entire continent. Not a lot of them, but large and sufficient. They carry many more difficult and strange supplies from the country of Parthan, all the way through the network of the continent, through these underground arcane rails of sorts. Recently, multiple shipments of seemingly random supplies have either been held up or gone missing by odd creatures. I don't have any first-hand accurate information, but the guards were most certainly spooked. Anyone who went to go investigate it was either absolutely terrified when they had come back, or they didn't come back. As you can imagine, such a glaring security risk, one being covered up by a supposed ally, has caused a little bit of contention, to say the very least, but we are amicable souls. We understand that those situations can be incredibly complex sometimes. But yes, it would be far, far more dangerous than some of the other tasks that we have here. I don't have a whole lot more information on that, but I'm aware that these creatures are otherworldly, to say the least. That's about all the information I have for you. The third mission would be a bit of a trek away. Not entirely sure whether you'd want to travel so far away so soon, but about halfway across the planet is perhaps a bit much of a trek, but also a bit of a holiday, perhaps. Anyway, there's been an uptick in, I suppose the best phrase would be pirate incursions. An area called the Dinura Ford has been ravaged recently. It's one of the only bylanes between quite a few sections of the continent, especially across the Revalier Gulf and the like. Seems like there's been multiple robberies, multiple attacks, ships stolen, supplies taken. Normally this would be something that the Defense Force would be able to handle, but pirates themselves seem to have gotten their hands on strange and unknown magics. A mixture of technology and arcane and primal skills that seem to be a bit beyond the capacity we've previously seen. Now, it may just be that, well, a few more talented, learned individuals have joined their ranks, but this sudden uptick is concerning, as you can imagine. That one, we've been working with our allies in the Defense Force. They don't have a lot to spare, unfortunately, as they are currently on other more important business, or at least more important to them and their leaders at the very least. But if push comes to shove, I will have to send a small detachment to at least bolster the forces there and hopefully get to the root of the problem. I know that these aren't direct solutions to the problem that we are currently facing, but considering the level of preparation and research that is required, we kind of have to patch some holes in the ship before it collapses, if you get what I mean. Hopefully, as well, you'll stumble onto some leads that may help with that. Know that you've stumbled onto plenty of information already.
Calling us bumbling detectives.
Bumbling, perhaps not. Just
Unintentional detectives.
accidental.
If we go after the pirates, I assume you will be providing us with a ship.
The job to Zenri will be on foot. The job to Parthan would be traveling via the arcane lines underneath the city, and indeed travel to the Dynura Ford would be compensated with some kind of travel, whether boat or airship. Depends what I have currently at my disposal.
With the underground tunnels, are there like windows or something? Like, how does that work?
The tunnels down below are, for the most part, lit up with a mixture of bioluminescence and natural light emitting crystals. They took a very, very, very long time to set up in its entirety, and the technology behind it is far, far beyond my capabilities. Artificery is not particularly my strong point, but yes, the tunnels underneath would not exactly be. You would not be outside for an amount of time, but there is enough air and enough warmth down there that you should be relatively comfortable.
Now, hear me out. I know of another monarch that have peoples who could check out these tunnels. But if I ask, she may say no. But if it came from another monarch, likely she would do it.
Have you already been in contact with one of our allies?
One of our allies.
One of our allies.
Do you want a worm infestation? Because this is how you get a worm infestation.
Do they count as peoples? I don't think they count as peoples. Subjects.
I'm sorry,
Subjects,
I'm not.
peoples.
I'm not getting the vagity.
Oh,
What-
so we made an acquaintance of a modified worm queen. And all of her subjects have also been modified. And we were able to make a alliance with them. But if she's going to put her subjects in danger, she would probably want the request to come from another monarch and not just me. But they're very good at tunnels. They are very hardy folks. And they would get the job done. Probably a lot faster than we can, with a lot less danger to themselves than danger to us.
Are they a hive mind?
They have some form of communication. I don't know if it is definitely a hive mind. I don't remember if we found
I
out.
can't remember either.
But they're quick underground.
And they make secretions that are waterproof. That's helpful sometimes in certain situations.
And they have allied themselves with the town of, what was that town again? Way, way long ago. Genzo.
So-
The village of Genzo.
So let me get this straight. I just told you about a incredibly threatening, dangerous, who knows what situation. And you're suggesting that I put that in the hands of a worm.
But a queen worm and a lot of other worms.
Worm. And she's been, we think, magically modified.
They're big too. They're really big worms.
And she's very smart. And you're supposed to use the best tool for the job, right? They would be the best tool for the job.
I mean, for like reconnaissance, just to see what's going down there.
Think about now, Dewan and Nawi step into the room.
The forest. I vote the forest. Are we voting it?
Just
Oh, the forest by the towns that the animals are taking over the empty towns. That one.
We should save the animals.
But why? I think I'm confused at what the problem with letting the animals take over the towns is.
I don't see the issue here.
They're just reclaiming their own territory, it sounds like.
I understand where you're coming from, Jacaranda, but we also, I mean, if the animals take over, which is totally fair if they do, we'd have to find homes for the people they took the homes from, so we'd still have to end up going there.
Isn't the problem?
Wait, there were no homes left in the town. It was.
I thought everybody's gone and dead.
We
and
flattened
left.
that town. And Ton's already there. He can investigate.
We need to find
knows
all
what-
we need to find all the land deeds.
Wait.
What?
Okay. Wait. Tita,
So where are all the people?
They
the
left it.
flattened town is what we want the worms to investigate? Question mark.
No, that's the
No.
underground
Underground.
tunnels.
Those are the tunnels.
Okay.
Because the worms can go through the tunnels. That's easy. I
Right.
understand.
Okay. Worms
Right.
tunnels. Got it.
The worms can go
Perfect.
through the tunnels.
Tunnels. That's
They're
like
used
what
to
they
tunnels.
do. That's the all the.
Yeah.
A
That's their
haunted
thing.
woods.
They're the best tool for their job.
Woods, animals.
That was the first thing, right?
Well,
the first
well,
bullet.
You just watch all of Queen Elwyn's life choices flash across her
No,
face.
she likes us. She doesn't get to be upset. She knew what she was signing up for when she called us here.
Listen, we think outside of the box so we get things done.
Wait,
Worms in the
Yeah,
tunnels.
so it was investigate the Deadlands
mhm.
That one.
and see why the aggressive animals have become even more aggressive.
Right. It's like they're like being weird, and there's like big weird creatures.
Yeah, it's like Zenri is cut off by a wall. There's the rest of Zenri, and then there's the Deadlands. The
Mhm.
animals have kind of learned that, like, hey, we cede this territory.
Mhm.
That's your spot. And they're essentially not only becoming more aggressive in the Deadlands, but also trying to make
Mm.
very
They're
clearly
trying to like,
organized.
breach.
Yeah, they're trying to make organized excursions or like attacking, maybe not attacking the wall, but like trying to create more
Mhm.
territory essentially. Which is where the strangeness has come from.
Mm.
Since the Deadlands is also the city there is also the site of one of, if not the first mass abduction. It's kind of like are these connected? Or are the animals just pissed kind of thing?
Sounds like we
Mara's
should
thinking
investigate.
It's because there's a Kuthric still sitting around there that we didn't take out.
Yeah, we should maybe
That we should maybe take
tie a
out.
bow on.
I mean, the haunted forest is fine, but I still think the worms should check out the tunnels. 'Cause Jacaranda does not want to be underground for that long.
Not, I don't really want to know.
that one does not want to be
It's like there's not
underground.
windows. What?
Yeah.
We just
Hiroki's interestingly fine with underground.
we just spent like one day, aka 3 months, in a basement. Dawn doesn't want to go back underground.
Dewan's like, I hear God in my head. Like, I swear to me, if you go back underground.
But that is the last place we dealt with the Magicarnum, the Deadlands thing. So that's fine. Mara's okay with that. But the tunnel thing, she's just like, yeah, it's extra dangerous, and we'd be underground. No thanks.
And then there's the pirate thing.
And then there's the pirates,
But
which
that's
Mara's
really
all
far
for
away.
because she's trying to get a ship.
Well,
You didn't do very well with the last ship, though.
Woo!
Shots were fired.
Well, if we have the ship and we're far away, because I think that the invasion force is probably going to change up how they're reacting now. Like, they're not going to go the same path that they were. So I figure if we're on a ship on the way to find these pirates, we have a way to investigate and see if this invasion force pops in again. We will be very mobile.
Do we
is
know
Mara's
if they
thought on
have a
that.
way of changing it up? Because I thought it was just like an open thing already, and then the world was moving, so they're just only coming in that one spot. Or do we think like they know how to open a new one?
I
Or
have no idea.
okay,
Yeah, so far we know it's one spot. The world is moving underneath it.
yeah.
But if
But we don't know if they can close it and open a different one. Like they're just being lazy and they're like, well, we don't want to open another one. This one's open.
Well, I think
You have an open hole at home type deal.
Didn't we? Wasn't it like complicated to tear open a portal or it was?
Yeah, because what you had discovered was essentially they were basically using one weakness in the barrier and like following it around the planet, because creating a new weakness would be an incredible amount of energy that they apparently either do not have or were just not willing to spend. It's kind of what you've
But
gathered.
now
with
that
the-
they're aware that we're aware, they may be willing to expend that energy to open another weakness. And these cults may be working with them, who could be opening more weaknesses, or whoever they are puppeteering in the Magicarnum could be willing to open more weaknesses. But I'm willing to do the Haunted Forest too, because that is the last place we dealt with the Magicarnum, and we can check to see if the half Krufic, half worm thing is there and take care of that finally.
Yeah, and it could also.
But the tunnels is.
I think it's
No
safe to say
tunnels.
that the party has decided against the tunnels. Tunnels are for worms. Tunnels remain for worms.
And I can make that like sending conversation between Queen Elowyn and Queen Worminess if she wants that conversation to happen. Or we could stop there on our way to the Deadlands and ask Queen Worminess to do this and bribe her with something.
We could see
Dirt.
how the
Worms like
waterproofing
dirt.
industry is booming, is thriving.
We got a letter about that. It's great.
I know, we could see it in person. I mean, I'm still pro the
Forest.
Deadlands, mostly because if
Deadlands.
it is the site of the first abduction, and if the animals are being affected by something that is either remains there or is a result of, that's worth checking out for sure.
And since Ton has gone ahead, we may have information by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm.
That
Pirates
also
were
the
gonna be
closest?
cool.
Hiroki has 8 points.
Is it the closest?
Zenri is definitely the closest in terms of like geographical location. Yeah.
It's only like it took us what, 3 days? 2 days? Something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long time.
Yeah, getting to Partham would technically be faster by train. But in terms of your current desires, so to speak, yeah, Zenri is far, far faster. The Daniel Ford is on the other side of the planet, so considerably further away.
Mm-hmm.
And did she want us to like chase the animals out, or is she just wanting us to find out what's going on? Mara to ask. You want us to chase them out to the Deadlands, or because that city is flattened? And I say whoever's going to build there, they can take care of the animal problem if they really want them moved out.
Yeah, but if the animals are actively like seeking and attacking people who are, then perhaps
it does not make sense. Even if it is like a grizzly bear or something, you know, like grizzly bears are aggressive, but they don't like look for people for a fight. They like fight you if you are like too close.
Right, but we're just supposed to take care of the thing that's causing them to be aggressive, right? We're not supposed to like
It's more of a
make a zoo.
find out what it is and fix it if you can. I already know what you and what the group you were a part of and everything. I remember the story you told me of Zentane and how you essentially blew it up, dealt with the situation there. I'm talking about the other side of the wall, Yilten, and where the first individuals were abducted and the den lands that surround that side of the country. And what little individuals that we've had coming to and from the remains of Yilten have indeed been attacked along the way. The wall that cuts off the two halves has been encroached upon by these creatures, and a lot of these creatures are remnants of whatever had happened to make those lands the way that they were, so they're not quite connected to the same natural forces that a lot of other creatures are, but they still have primal instincts. The instinct to feed and to survive, primarily. It's very odd that they would be this aggressive, even attacking fully armed patrols that I sent their way. It's strange even for that odd place, and considering the connection to the current situation, there's a possibility that it's all linked together. Maybe it's not at all. But I just need someone who is capable, individuals who are capable, to explore and find out if there is a connection, to help if possible. If you can find a fix, fantastic. If not, we do have bigger issues to tackle right now.
So, any ideas on that? How are you tackling these bigger issues? I would like a sit rep, please.
Currently, it's a lot of boring bureaucracy, trying to get everyone onto the same page, trying to gather exactly whatever we can, particularly. It's, we're far beyond times of war. We don't have standing armies. It's a very complicated process to get more manpower to defend places. So we're all just trying to protect our people first and foremost and get enough of an infrastructure to get things moving. We also have a few individuals trusted among many of the leaders of a lot of the vacant factions, primarily looking into the Magicanum and their particular sects inside of their territory, trying to root out whatever this corrupting influence that you had found is, but that's also a process. Lord knows that the Octoclear are never happy with people encroaching in their business, even though they're meant to be allies of the states. But we try our best.
So why did you all not eliminate him the first time?
Eliminate who?
Aravathun. Yeah, just close the door. Why did you not take him out?
Well, primarily because they weren't really the individual we were battling. We were battling another individual. We were dealing with the current threat during the war. We had banished them back from whence they came, and Aravathun was mentioned by them in more of a passing glance, kind of like how one would reference a god of sorts, I suppose, a more powerful entity that at the time we didn't really think had much of a say on things. It's only until recent events that we realize quite how naive that was.
Well, the hindsight and eyesight and seeing things, you know what they say. But it sounds like this person, whatever they're doing, I'm guessing has been planning it for a long time and made everyone think they were nobody, so no one would notice them doing whatever they are. We don't even know what they are doing or what they're planning. We just know they're maybe doing something, which is why everything is something we may have to look into until we figure out what they are doing.
That is essentially where we kind of stand right now. We have enough information to know there's a threat and start taking precautions, but not enough to formulate a direct plan.
Who was the person before? Who was like the fake leader that they used to trick everybody?
Judging by the direct questioning from Mara, I'm assuming that you're referring to the War of the Dragons, the War of the Shadowskin, sorry. The War with the
Yes.
Dragons and the like. The individual was an entity that called themselves Vistralishida, which frankly is far too long of a name.
That's a name. Those are just not.
Draconic names can sometimes be names, draconic names can sometimes be titles, and this one was very full of themselves, so...
Oh yeah, it was the Shadow Dragon. I'm not muted.
We often shorted it to Vis so that we didn't lose our minds in the process. But yes, we were aware that after their initial disposal and banishment, that they had treated with a power and made their return, and that there was a possible bigger power at play, but what's kind of like bringing up a boogeyman in a children's horror story. You never really think that that force is ever going to have a substantial amount of power. Again, naive from us, most likely. Judging by the information you gave us, it looks like Aravathun has been meddling in far more than we realized.
Has anyone gone to research, or that's not the word. What is the word when you investigate the Devil's Tomb?
Not currently. Well, the Revalier Castigan Defense Force has sent forces to keep an eye on the island and the perimeter around it, but no one has paid a direct visit, no.
As long as people are watching it, that is a good start.
Most certainly. There are very much concerns of making sure that weaknesses are patched, so to speak.
Wait, so you were there when the last time this all happened, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Although
also,
I was a
are you
much
okay?
younger soul then.
I don't know if we told you the queen is a dragon. But moving on, I just want to make sure Hiroki is okay.
Raises an eyebrow towards you and then back towards Hiroki to judge their reaction to that comment.
What the last time, someone was. It seems like this dragon Viz was like playing to Ravathun or something. What was going on? Did this kind of thing happen where like animals and calamity? Like was it like a warning?
They had used whatever power they had treated to warp the minds of individuals around them. A lot of the draconic entities, both dragons themselves and the other creatures and species around them, began to very, very slowly warp and change. There's something very insidious about a long manipulative process. Some of them we saved. Some of them we nurtured back to health. Some of them were too far gone in their rage and their rancor and their various different emotional states that were preyed upon by this. It was a long and difficult conflict. They were a powerful entity. I'm pleased that we sealed them, but I'm still devastated to this day at the cost of that.
Well, hopefully we can stop this before it happens this time, but just anything you can remember could be helpful as we are trying to figure out what is going on.
Oh yeah, in here. And shakes the sending stone out of her pocket. This either sends to a Ravathun or someone who works for them. I don't know if there are magics like you can trace where this person is, but there.
I'm sorry, what?
So see, there was this panther man who was stealing animals and we assume giving them to the Magic Cardinal, but we know for sure he was involved with a Ravathun. And this sending stone was on that panther man. So it either goes to a Ravathun or someone who works for a Ravathun. We don't have any way to trace down that person, so we brought it here in case you wanted to take care of that part. And if you need more information, Ty can answer that.
And you decided to bring that up now? After we had just been talking for I don't know how long.
Listen, It's not active, as far as I know. He can't hear my thoughts.
As far as
And-
you know,
I have other things going on.
I'm busy too, Queenie. Okay, you're busy. We're all busy ladies here.
Besides, if a Ravathun wanted to listen, I'm pretty sure he's powerful enough. Anytime we say his name, he just, hears what we say. So
No. Don't imply that we need to start referring to Aravathun as you know who. We're not going
You know-
down.
no.
him who shall not be named.
Ravathun is not a ghast from a fairy tale. They are give me the fucking stone.
Queenie been drinking this afternoon.
Queenie's
Not yet, but
Gonna
will
be
soon.
drinking.
Will be.
Just.
Besides, I figured this room was secured. Anyway.
Yeah, that's really
Like-
on you, I think.
Wow.
There are no guards in here, so I figure you had it like
Now we,
loaded
like-
against
it's like-
scrying and spying and all that good stuff.
Okay, everybody, we are all very stressed.
I feel like at this point Dawn actually like mid talk took out a thermos and started making herself some tea. Like
I thought you were gonna say took out some popcorn and started eating.
no.
Let's not let us not go down the road of whose fault is whom's on forgetting to mention things when we are all very stressed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or
Well, if they had
how
taken
secure
care of
room
this
is.
issue 1,000 years ago, we wouldn't be here and in this situation. So
Well, we weren't there 1,000 years ago, though, Mara.
I kind of was, because
Okay,
I
Jack.
saw
Well, you
it and I
were there.
experienced it.
They didn't know the same way we didn't know until we learned that this was the threat.
I
And
actually
now
have a question.
We're the ones that are
too.
here.
Like when they told you about a Ravathun, like being a spooky person in like a kid's story, did they describe what they looked like?
No, they didn't.
Does like a really large bright blue eye like ring any bells to you at all, or is that just nothing to you?
I mean, a bright blue eye is rather nebulous of a description.
But like a
Doesn't-
very large one that's just kind of like hulking in the background, kind of like a dark presence thing, or no, not doesn't.
Doesn't ring a particular bell, Jacaranda.
Okay.
Wait, who has this is Jesse speaking. Who has do I have the coin that we took off of the shrine?
No, Nawi has it.
Is that on the coin?
I just was wondering whether like because we kind of knew what the coin was, but we don't actually know what the coin is. We just took the coin.
Yeah, now I felt like she needed to have it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh right, wait. Wasn't that like a never mind. Don't worry. It's fine.
yeah, we don't know that. At least Mara doesn't know that. Mara wasn't in the room. So
No,
I think-
is that eye on the? I forgot what the coin looks like. Is that eye on the coin?
Please hold.
The eye isn't on the coin. No, the
Okay.
coin is the.
I was just wondering if now we think to take it out to show the queen, but if
And
it's-
we got rid of the horn somehow a while ago.
there was a horn.
The
Oh,
cone.
Oh, the cone. Yeah, the cone.
Yeah, the cone's gone.
Yeah.
The cone's gone.
The cone's
But
gone.
it had a Ravathun's battle cry on it.
what?
Indeed.
What?
What? Wait, what? Don't worry, Kimmy. I'm also like, what are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
What?
So
what are you
way
what are you
back
three talking about?
when
Etched into the cone is to
Yeah.
block out the myriad suns to dim out the light.
yeah.
Is
What?
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
what
we
it
know that.
does. Yes.
But
But
Wait,
that
how do
was
you know
on the
that is-
cone.
Mara is
That's
not
on the
aware
cone.
that that is a Ravathun's.
Yeah, how do you know
Battle
that's
cry.
the battle cry?
We were there. We were all there when
We were.
Ty told us.
Oh, listen, I have the memory of the goldfish. So
I mean, I
didn't-
don't know if that was more like what I saw
Yeah, I
from
thought that was a
Ty,
Jack.
or if
Yeah,
Ty like said it to everybody out loud. But that's it. It's a connection.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Well, we could get the cone back if we needed it, but where it is we think safe-ish. So
It is not of our concern until it is of our concern.
And it sucks
That's how it
magic
works.
out of things.
and that's not the only dangling end and thread we have.
Do you
so-
mean episode 83 tying up loose ends did not tie up?
not even a little bit?
Did we just create more loose ends?
What bullshit
Yeah.
is this?
Well,
we tied
yes,
2
yeah.
loose ends and we found 20.
Right, exactly.
So it's a
Um,
loose end Hydra. Got it.
Yes.
So all of this talk, it does. I want to say something. It sounds very similar to how in the Vale, people admire, worship, revere Nevin. We don't even know if Nevin is real, but we tell people like Nevin is real, and it sounds like what happened 1,000 years ago was these V's talked about this Ravathun the way we talk about Nevin. But we still don't know if Ravathun's a real person or someone impersonating them or another person with Ravathun's power. But if
You know who might know? We should go talk to Logan.
this is fair, maybe these abductors are just the new people worshipping them. If the magic used before was to corrupt people and things, I think we could be seeing that with these animals. It could be starting small to see if anyone notices. This being, whatever they are, is patient.
And Mara would say in the group chat, I have more information about them, but I don't want to share it in front of the queen. So after we're done, I will let you know.
Now I said, why don't we trust her?
It involves people we're not allowed to talk about.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, you do what leaders do, monarchs do. It will
Sit
go,
in meetings.
And you have your magic peoples check
Um,
that out, and we'll go investigate the dead land place.
Also, here's a map to where we found that stone and the guy that works with Arabathun too, and just like draw it on piece of parchment, like that's the thing. And there's like a gold room that is a teleportation room, we think, in there.
Everything's weirdly symmetrical.
Yeah, that too. When you walk in, it's like same everywhere.
Oh, but the portal's currently broken. I sort of fixed it a little bit, but it was only temporary.
I can scry on it
Besides-
if you want.
When I mentioned a Ravathun and all you said was F, we decided to get back here as soon as possible. So we did not spend more time investigating.
Which is understandable.
Oh, and do you want the diary too, or should we keep that?
I don't think we'll need it.
It's not Raven's diary. It's Panther Man.
Yeah.
in case you weren't clear.
Speaking with you all is a fantastic way to speedrun a migraine.
People keep saying that to us.
And if you want to know what kind of magics Panther Man was using on the animals, Kata has them.
Yeah, I
Yes.
left them with Kata now. Oh, can I have my bag back?
Oh yeah, here you go.
Thank you.
Your Highness, speaking of all the things we found, there was one more thing. There was this odd coin. The landscape is like familiar, but I've never seen it. I don't know if this is like an old coin, you know, from a different layout of the land.
Mm. That one I don't. Rings a bell, but I don't know why.
That's what I was saying. I don't know if it's like an old queendom or something, you know, that's like in a book somewhere that we've seen, like in a history book.
I feel like the construct was something related to it.
Now that makes sense. I don't know a lot about the entity, but they have always been a fan of strangely intricate tributes.
I just think the coin is pretty. Can I keep it?
It is certainly a beautiful piece in its own right. I don't know why you're asking me why you can keep
That's
it.
the coin. Tucks the coin back in.
Turns towards Hiroki, just. You understand the group that you've thrown your lot in with, right?
Not at all.
Fair.
But they seem to need help. And I try to help where I can.
Not felt kinship this quickly in a very long time. We're very much on the same wavelength.
Listen, if we didn't do the things that we do in the way that we do them, you would not be this far along in stopping this threat.
This is true. I also would not have had 200 years taken off of my life from stress.
I think that one at this
That's
point
okay.
would
Maybe
go.
you should get a boyfriend or something, or a girlfriend.
I think
Couple? I don't know.
Dawan at this point goes up to the queen and just hands her a mug. It's with tea. But silently. I'm offering the queen a mug of tea.
She very slowly takes it, and Dawan, you pick up with your passive perception the slight silver of the tips of her fingers as her nails begin to kind of just grow a little bit and kind of dig just a touch into the.
Well, she's
the
lucky
cup.
Mara doesn't know about that jail, man.
Uh,
There'd be a fight right here.
Just to say quietly to the queen, it's chamomile mint. I'm sorry for the migraine.
Okay, I'm gonna go leave because I have to go give Sinclair a migraine. But yeah, we'll take care of the Deadlands. I will contact Queen Worminess and see if she'll send her people.
That will not be necessary. I am not entrusting the defense of my kingdom to a worm, no matter how
loss?
lovely
Your loss?
things seem to be.
It could just help. Like if you're already sending people there, then the worms could help, like being like they could go look at things and be like, hey, we saw this thing, or we heard or felt like a tremor that's like about this shape, because I think that's how they do things. And then help. Just like
Your Grace, if I may. You said yourself that there's no standing army and there's no proper defense force that it can be deployed at this time. Is this not the time to forge new alliances to save our world? And I will make a persuasion check if I need to.
Yeah.
Because I think my friend is being
Absolutely
stubborn.
will need to.
I will aid.
How do you aid?
I will say, Nolly brings up very good points. Sometimes we all need a little bit of help, and they can come from unexpected places.
Take your advantage.
Guidance.
I have terrible news for you, Ray, because that's a natural 20.
We're getting
Nice.
worms up in these tunnels.
And I will close the distance and like put my hand on her shoulder. I understand the great burden you have of having to lead the people while feeling responsible for what is going on because you were there 1,000 years ago. But you can take help. We all need help sometimes, like Mara said. This is the time to forge a new path.
At least maybe meet with the worms? I don't know them personally, but it seems at least having a discussion couldn't hurt, could it?
I feel like I'm in my 200s again. All right. I'm familiar with the village. I will go ahead and head there myself and find this entity, and we will have a discussion. That's as much as I'm promising right now.
That's all we ask. You may not be aligned, but you won't know unless you try.
Very well. Rolls up pulls out the little pins, the first piece of parchment, wraps it up, and hands it over to you, Nolly, as you're currently the closest. That's what little information. I told you most of it already, but perhaps there's something a little additional that may help, as well as the location that I believe Torn has set up camp to watch on things. We'll go ahead and get the discussions underway post-haste.
Thank you.
Despite the bombardment of information and the sometimes stress-inducing conversations, I am pleased that this is still a positive relationship between us all.
I love you too, Your Highness.
Oh boy. She sighs and like pulls up the kind of like simple cloak she had just kind of like hanging around her shoulders and prepares to leave the room, but you can see a small, slightly stressed out, but also a small smile kind of like creep across the corner of her lips.
Now he turns. I should not hold important things. Somebody should take this.
Is it the coin?
No, the
No,
parchment.
it's the
Oh, the parchment.
parchment.
Say, I will take the parchment.
Thank you, darling.
No problem. Give it a scan so that I can memorize it. Sage. And then put in the
Throw it in the
bag.
trash. Just kidding.
And incinerate it. We don't need
We just
this.
burn
I
it.
scan it really
I
quick and I throw
memorized
it. I throw it into the nearest fireplace.
Yeah.
Hey, Queenie, thanks for the information.
all up here.
You don't have a photographic memory, Queenie. Get on it.
Jacaranda just fast balling this.
So we should find Logan and find out what he knows about Aravatun.
Or a blue eye.
I
Who's
feel like
Logan?
I'm sorry, what
What?
did you say?
Who's Logan?
Oh,
Logan is from the
Cone.
Logan's a friend.
other.
A friend.
Logan
Okay.
is a friend.
A friend.
Again, friends with you, then I guess will be one of my new friends too.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
and here's
meet
what I
Logan
needed to tell you
first.
guys. So this is the third time Aravatun has been here. The first time Harmony's people fought with Aravatun and basically got their butts handed to them. So they made an agreement with the other peoples on the other side of the shield, let's say. And they were going to keep Aravatun over there. So Logan's people and Harmony's people made this deal.
Okay, wait,
And
wait.
so they put up this shield.
Okay, wait. Let me try to figure out this timeline. Aravathun and Harmony fought but weren't doing well. So Harmony went to that was the discussion. They had a discussion and like maybe we should try talking to them. And we were like, no, it's not gonna work. The discussion was to keep Aravathun in their side.
Basically. So yeah, Harmony didn't tell us any of they got into a big war and it was going poorly. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a new friend.
When
Their
don't
name
you
is
have new
Sanctuary.
friends?
Yes, their name is Sanctuary, and they are one of Harmony's relatives that got woken up. And they're gonna give me some powers to help with our fight.
Hey Mara, what the fuck?
Can
We'll
I meet
see.
your friend? It's harder for me to make friends with someone if I haven't met them.
I asked them to come to dinner, but they're just like a big amorphous blob right now. So they thought that'd be off-putting. So they're gonna work on looking more humanoid, and then
I'm fine with
probably
blobs.
be okay meeting you.
Wouldn't that
Well,
make
you
them
see,
on-putting?
I guess.
Leaving the room.
But when we went to that one place, what was that town called, Ray?
Which place?
Which
When we were on our way to Tarkeza, we stopped at that other place.
The one where I got the dust? Not the dust.
The one
The
where you made
bentos?
friends with
The
Yeah,
healing
with
bento
the healer.
boxes? The healing bento
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
The port town
Look
that
it
we
up.
left from.
Right.
That place.
Yes. Sorry, that took me a second.
Because Mara would
I was like,
remember, but I have a
what?
bad memory.
Vassalon.
that's
Okay.
the one.
So when we were in Vastlon, you know how there was that big like temple place?
Oh yeah.
So I went in there and I asked the universe for help. And then Sanctuary contacted. And we have come to agreement that A, they should have gotten rid of Aravatun in the first damn place, but B, that they will try to help. So they are going to imbue me with abilities to try to do that. But they're the ones that told me the story about how it really went down when Aravatun came the first time.
So the second time was with the dragon?
Yes. But Harmony's people were already asleep by then.
Right. So they couldn't have known.
But apparently the first time when they were there, they like captured some of Harmony's people and tried to break them down into their powers and tried to figure out that power and take
Is
it for
that what
themselves.
the
Apparently,
cone is for?
I don't know. I didn't ask Sanctuary about the
They're gonna steal the people's magic with the cone.
I forgot all about the cone. Because, you know, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
It's been out of sight for a while. But yeah, so that Aravathune's after power.
For what?
I don't know what power, but that's their driving force.
Well, it's good you found that out, and we definitely should stop them, but I just have to think, what is here they keep coming back for? Like, it could be Harmony's people, I guess. They're still down there.
Right. And I told Sanctuary to make sure they keep themselves safe. But they corrupted people when they came the second time, but as far as I know, no one got to where Harmony and the people were. However, there's this cult that we still never found out, this cult of whatever. So I'm wondering if those folks have been corrupted and
Thorned
they were
Crown?
in search
Yeah, the Thorn Crown.
of Harmony.
Because they were the ones breaking in to Harmony's place.
That is true. And we don't, I mean, they made it to the bottom in that pyramid, but I don't know if they knew what they were looking for.
I also found out some very traumatic news. Sanctuary was able to uncover a memory. Apparently, Sanctuary's help is a fixed point in time, them helping us. Apparently, this was always meant to happen. A Ravathun, when I was a child, sent someone to kill me.
Oh,
My mother was able to stop them. But I also had flashes of memory growing up where Sinclair was there discussing things with my mother.
So that's why you want to talk with him.
Well, yes, but that can wait. He's a
I don't
dragon. He'll
feel
be
like-
around for a while.
It should wait. I feel like maybe that's important to do while we're here.
I mean, maybe. But I already ticked the queen off. I don't need to tick Sinclair off.
They're different people.
Yeah, but Sinclair's already all stodgy.
well, I think more importantly, I don't know how available Sinclair will be. Won't he be organizing? Is he even here? Is he even in the castle?
We looked for him when we first got here, right, Ray? The last session.
A guard mentioned Sinclair being
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's on the castle grounds. He
Right.
was in the middle of
just busy.
yeah, he was in the middle of getting things organized and doing like orders from the queen and stuff like that. But one of the guards had mentioned that they would go ahead and say like, "Hey, there's
Mara
people
wants to
looking
talk
for
to you, and Sinclair immediately went to hide. Oh. Sinclair immediately found something else to do. I mean, I also need to talk to my mother because she never mentioned any of this either.
Well,
But
I
that
don't-
can wait. We have things to do.
I don't want to rush you, yeah.
We should definitely talk to Logan and find out what their people did with the Ravathun, if he knows.
I forget where we put Logan.
Logan was here with the queen.
Logan's here at the castle.
Yeah,
Wasn't
Logan is currently handling business, being basically the point between multiple nations and informing them the best that they can.
I'm
with
sorry,
what
did they turn
remember.
Logan into a diplomat?
Yes.
Basically,
Yes.
Is Logan
yes.
a Secretary of State?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, I said, this person's from over there. He knows what over there is like. Get all the information you can.
Logan,
Even though
chief
Logan-
strategist and secretary of state.
Even though Logan can't remember most of what happened because they're still getting their memory back, it's like, well, you're still the best we've got. So,
But yeah, I don't know what all was agreed to this deal that was made because Sanctuary was not there. But yeah, there was a big corruption of their people before they made this deal with the other side. Oh, their people are called Illiman, by the way.
Not the ones who came before? Who's the ones that came before?
That's them as
That's
well.
them.
That's another
Oh.
name for them.
Not that.
They call themselves Illiman.
Not that that one is
Illiman.
taking active notes, but you couldn't have mentioned that earlier. Says Jesse.
Mar wasn't important. Harmony's people.
I appreciate Mara's like, so this is important. I need to just like dump this all on you real quick so that we're being totally transparent. I
Well,
appreciate
that
the
way-
transparency.
They have all the information that I have, so when we go to question Logan, in case they come up with any questions that Mara may not necessarily think of, they have this information.
Right. So wait, this is just a point of clarification for my notes. Aravathan fought with Harmony and the Illiman. They reached an agreement with the Mind Flayers to keep Aravathan in their plane of existence. At some point, he escaped that plane or returned to our
At some
plane.
point, he corrupted the dragon.
At some
Did the scale
point,
war.
yeah, when Vis was banished during the part before the war, somehow they had come into contact with Aravathan. They had then been corrupted. Vis was then sent back into the material plane, which set in motion the War of the Shadowskin.
Okay.
With Aravathoon? Or just because they were corrupted by Aravathoon?
They were corrupted by Aravathoon, so it was kind of like a warlock patron almost relationship of like, you can defeat me, but when my dad gets here, you'll be sorry.
Okay. So then they defeated Vish,
Yes.
and Aravathan was mentioned, but they were like, "Oh, it's not really all that important." So he kind of faded into history.
Basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be
Kind of.
like, it sounds like it's like they defeated him and
Well, it took a lot to defeat the dragon.
It took a lot to defeat the dragon.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But once Vis was banished, Aravathoon was mentioned multiple times, but they just kind of went, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
okay,
it's just
you're
a name."
Speaking the name of this
Yeah.
thing
Right.
that's apparently out to get us."
Yeah, this like
Because it
potentially
sounds like,
grand entity, and,
And
it's
then
okay.
right.
the only time that he pops back up, the only time that he pops up in history by name is what you found out with Ty and Jacaranda.
Okay.
That he had some kind of input with the Thorned Crown and with the
Right.
Monarch.
Because my question to you, Ray, so far how we interact with your world, it seems like most people treat things like gods or god level as like not like all boogeymen, but like that level of like, I mean, they could be real, but they could also just as easily not be real.
It's a kind of world where faith and religion is all about belief. Like if you believe in
Mhm.
something hard enough, it can become an actual thing.
Right,
Like if
but
you believe, like there are some creatures that are on the level of like godlike entities that have
Mhm.
existed for a very, very, very long time. There are other entities that basically try and fake their way to the top.
fake
So
so make it.
everyone's
I
just
get
like,
it.
yeah. So
Just for the
everyone's just
job
like,
you want.
meh.
But it seems
Oh,
like
y-
they thought it was like that for everything of like, oh, your boogeyman's totally gonna come down. Sky Daddy's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I hear ya.
Yeah, because there was
No.
there's no other impact that they knew about
Right.
as in like current Vacre. There's no other impacts. They're just like,
Right.
oh, this name you mentioned? Okay, cool bluff, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Like literally no one knows what you're talking about. So
And am I
Exactly.
misremembering this? Did Sanctuary say that part of the deal was them going to sleep, or was that a different, separate thing?
That was a separate thing. That was them
Okay.
realizing that essentially you kind of picked this up with a conversation with Harmony as well. The Illumin had kind of felt like, okay, so this entity is coming here to damage this world because they're interested in us. So if we don't exist,
Right,
there's
that's
no
what it
reason
was.
for them to come.
And
So
so
they reduce
Mara
themselves.
would share that information as well. And apparently, dragons and elementals are the Illumin's pets from way long ago, and they've just evolved into what they are now.
I guess that makes sense since they were the ones who came before. So that no, that okay. Is that a lot? Yeah. Okay. So what I am still wondering is this: if they were coming because of the element, but the element has stopped existing, there's only a few things. Either Everton knew they were trying to trick them, or there's something else about this place that Everton is after.
well, with the Thorn Crown going to where they were and trying to get to them, that I mean, it seems like that's still a big part of it.
But if that is all it is, why don't we just convince them to tell the queen, and they can just defend the only way in, and that's it, right?
Because only two of them are awake.
I think that still requires us going there.
It would, but I am just thinking out loud. We have a lot to figure out still.
Right.
We should
and
get on the road.
Sanctuary thinks someone on this side is weakening the barrier, and that is why they're able to get in at this point.
Well, I mean, couldn't we assume that's the Magic Carnum? They seem to be working together with the.
Oh, I think it's the Magic Carnum, but
Well, didn't we already find out that the Magic Carnum was the whole reason all that opening portals thing started? Because they poked their head in, and then the other people were like, "Oh hell no!" And then they came.
Yes, we did. We did
Nothing,
figure that out.
Yes.
nothing else from your side. Look what happened last time.
Like we said no, and then they
No
came
more.
back over.
We did not consent to this.
We're like on our way to our stuff to like hit
Yeah,
them,
we're
right?
getting ready to
Yeah.
head to the
You're getting ready to hit the road, Jack.
Deadlands. Don't go back. no
well,
more.
I thought we were going to go look for Logan.
Oh, are
Oh.
we?
Yeah, we were going to talk.
Well,
to
I would
Logan.
ask the guard when we came out of the
first.
room. Is Logan in the castle? Is he like gone somewhere?
You know, I fully expected us to have just taken over the Queen's meeting room.
Like, will you bring Logan to us?
I did not.
We were so.
I thought we were walking.
We were talking about look where to go next. I fully expect us to still be sitting there. That one's still drinking tea for all I care.
Yeah, you can go ahead and ask a guard. Logan is most certainly still on site, as I say, just kind of organizing and working and communicating. One of them will go ahead and kind of nod and bring them back towards you. You see a very, very visibly exhausted very exhausted, like still like speckles of sweat dripping down. The kind of like brownish hair has been, it looks like they've gone ahead and kind of cut most of it off. Not in a particularly nice or organized way, but more like a, this is getting in my goddamn way. Snip, snip. It's just kind of a messy kind of like mixture of lengths sitting across the top and the sides. And they rub their eyes, and for Hiroki, who is seeing this individual for the first time, rather lean, human male. Nothing particularly massively interesting about them from first glance. Bit rugged, definitely rugged with the hair and kind of like small kind of like weird parts of their beard where like they didn't shave properly the first few times. There's little parts
What?
that
They're
are
not
growing,
masked anymore? Last
way-
time we saw them, they had a bandana.
Nope, not anymore. They have this kind of like speckled beard that's going on. Just a relatively unassuming, rugged, kind of like rugged handsome, but not quite massively so. Just good looking individual. The huge bags under their eyes as they rub their head a couple of times, look a little sleepy as they look towards you. Just right, that's the yep, no. Got help. Hello again.
Guess
Oh,
what?
you lot.
Guess what, Logan? We met a
Mm.
cat and we named it Frogs. Well, I did. I named it Frogs, and it reminded me of you. Just because, like, it was confusing, because, like, perhaps was confusing, and the Frogs name ended up confusing. I didn't know it was going to be confusing, but then it was.
Sweet, sweet.
So I
true
thought
child.
of you.
I like that. I like that quite a lot. Yeah, I'm with that.
Logan, would you like some help cutting your hair?
I gave up on it like 3 days ago. I'm
I-
gonna be perfectly honest with you.
I understand, but is it getting in your face? Do you like that it's getting in your face?
I wanted it way shorter, to be honest, but I just don't trust myself to be cutting that close.
Do you mind? And she's gonna like reach into her kit and pull out some scissors. Would you like me to try? And
Super polite about it until you actually pull out the scissors. He's like, please, please. I could do with just a moment to myself. That would be
excellent.
wonderful.
This will give us
Sure,
time
should
to
we
talk.
go to your rooms?
Yeah, we can go to my. I did get given quite a nice room, considering the shit I've been through. So we can go there. You're new.
Oh, this is Hiroki. Logan.
Hello.
You
They're
are
our new friend.
glowing. Just
Only a little.
just stunning.
Aw.
It's incredibly impressive.
Nice to meet you. Shakes hand. Offers hand to shake.
Pauses for a moment and it's like, oh wait, yeah, no, people do that. And leans in, takes your hand, just gives it like 2 solid shakes. Let's go. Logan, acquainted with your companions here.
Only acquainted, Logan. And Mara goes up and gives them a hug.
Oh no, not this again. All right.
Now
let's
he
go.
leans over to Hiroki. Logan is the one in the memories that was in somebody's brain, and we got them out. Logan
It's all a bit weird.
Logan used to be one of the bad guys. They think their memories are still coming back to them.
I wish you luck with that. It can be rough going through memory patches.
Really, really can. It's just a nightmare. It's just sometimes it's there's big memories that will come to me.
Speaking of
and then there's
nightmares and
little things.
memories, we could we seek a room? We have maybe one of those to talk about.
Yeah, no, this way, and leads you down a corridor and down a set of steps into a small, nicely decorated, and incredibly familiar set of rooms. To some of you, at the very least, a very regimented, repurposed set of rooms. They step forwards. I actually knocked down one of the walls and gave me a little bit more space. So they click a few locks, slot a key in, open a door up, and it's a relatively nice, spacious area.
We can make a studio apartment.
Yeah, it's very
Does it have a loft bed?
No, it has a hammock. It's a lot more, I guess, technical inside than a lot of the rooms that you have already seen, like kind of the basic guest rooms. There's a lot of random pieces of like technology and up to date pieces of like, you know, furniture and things like that. It's definitely been recently furnished, and there's definitely been a lot of money that's been thrown into here. A few kind of like gadgets and gizmos kind of laid out on a table in the back that look like they've been tampered with to the point where no one really knows what they do anymore. Not even Logan, probably. It's an interesting splay before you, but they go ahead and just there's a few chairs scattered around, a few stools. You can take the hammock if you want. It's been a couple of weeks. Hell of a couple of weeks.
Who wants to
Us as
start?
well. Is Odian still around, or did he leave you too?
Oh, they headed. God, where did they head? Oh, right. They went to go pick up some supplies in Vassalon. They'll be back in probably about a week or so. They chat with a few friends there and hanging out. I didn't ask him for specifics. I'm not gonna interrogate the lad, but
So what do you know about Ravathun?
I am cutting Logan's hair, so if there are any sudden movements or jerks, please be advised.
quite the opposite. Logan just freezes up in place for a moment. Looks just across all of you. So, okay, interesting. Do you remember, like, 15 odd sessions ago when when I was talking to you about there being two factions among my people? One of them who, you know, just wants to fucking live in peace and chill and carry on the way that we were. And then the other set that were like, hey, there's this place. Their stuff can help us. Let's go nick it. Aravathun was part of the second one. I don't really know if you could call it a leader. I don't know the specifics, but he was the front man, certainly, the face of it.
So there's like a council of Aravathun?
From what I know, Aravathun is just one individual, but I don't know who joined them of their free will and who was coerced.
Do you remember the other names? Or how
No.
many?
Fortunately not. Their numbers fluctuated a bit. Had his own little following of individuals that kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time. No one, at least to an outsider's perspective, no one big enough or powerful enough to be a co-conspirator, as it were. It seems like Aravathoon was the main kind of voice behind it, but you and I both know that just because someone's at the front of things doesn't mean they're actually wearing trousers.
How did you wind up in the cone that has his mantra on it?
I thought I brought this up before, but
You did, but remind us.
This is a pop
essentially-
quiz.
Steve, you've been paying attention because we
If you
totally
have any more
have.
memories, because
This
we
is
know
all
some
for
stuff.
Hiroki's sake because he wasn't here.
That's valid. That's valid. I was part of the other faction who didn't want that faction starting a conflict and, whatever the hell they were planning on doing. So there was a long, arduous process of looking into what they were going to do and where and how, and we found out that they had created an artifact that possibly would be useful in those schemes, and it was designed to hold two of the baby stages, I guess you could say, of our kind. And so I booted one of them out, took their place, and hoped that if I was the first, or well, made sure that I was the first one to come out of the artifact if it should ever be activated, so that I could help stop things.
Civil things. So there's another one in there still.
Maybe, possibly. I would assume so. There was 2 slots from what we heard. It might
Or it's,
be.
or it's in somebody's head already.
I mean, it depends where it is and whether it's been messed with and opened, but possibly.
But the other thing, so there is like a civil unrest within your people. There is like a Ravathoon's faction, and you and your side that was like, let's not eat people's brains.
More of a less of a civil conflict and more of a very small, very angry minor faction that begun to pick up steam the more disgruntled and aggressive and angry people got with discussions and situations. I don't know the specifics of it, but when it started, it was just him. Them. Don't really know what he presents as these days. It was a more masculine for a bit, and then it's a little more fluid with our folks.
It's now it'll like address everyone, not just look. This sounds like an extremist. A
terrorists from
Ravathoon-
their world. I agree. So out of character question. So Jacaranda, the place that Warren got the cone from, you were familiar with?
From Lock and Kala, is that where
Yeah.
Lauren got it? Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know how long the cone was there, or you don't know anything about
I
the cone?
don't think I really know anything about the cone specifically. Like, I only know about the cone from everything y'all found out from Oren.
And Logan didn't remember how long he had been in the cone. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I was just wondering, how long has this cone been here?
You have no idea.
We should try to
So
carbon
Mara,
date it.
yeah, Mara would go, okay, so this is what we know. So you remember Harmony. So back in the day when they were awake and their people were awake, Aravathun came here, corrupted some of their people, and then they made a deal with your people to keep him on your side of the barrier and put up a barrier. So there was no meeting between worlds. Then about 1,000 years ago, he corrupted this dragon who had been banished there. And the dragon came over here and tried to start a bunch of crap and took a bunch of people to contain the dragon, right? He's contained. Correct? Right? Okay. Contain the dragon because he's not dead. They have a problem with killing people. I don't get it. Take care of your loose ends, people. Take care of your loose ends. Anyway, contain this dragon.
Wait, are we the most bloodthirsty in this universe? We've killed a lot.
Now is not the time for an existential crisis.
Oh no! That one suddenly starts to
Sometimes
spiral.
you just have to burn it with fire, okay? And then it took like 1,000 people. It took a bunch of people to contain this dragon, and there were mentions of Aravathun at that time having corrupted the dragon, but they just treated it like, oh, it's a rumor we heard. So now Aravathun, since the Magikarnam poked their head over to your world, Aravathun has corrupted some of the Magikarnam, and they are helping Aravathun weaken the barrier. And that's why the people are going missing. We still don't know what they're using them for. But that is where we are with what we know of Aravathun.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just kidding. So the queen wants us to go back to, what's the place name?
Absalon. Oh, Zatane.
Zatane. I wanted to say Zendaya, and I'm not like, that's not it.
No.
Zatane.
No.
Because apparently the animals around there are being really aggressive, and since that's the last time we saw the Magikarnam, we're gonna go there and investigate.
Okay.
I really wish you could remember how long you've been here.
I'm sorry, traveling from a different place and then having to go back to being a baby and then getting sprung unknowingly and then having to accidentally share a space with an individual and then share a space with another individual and then go through that whole, it's a tiring process. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best.
I would like to
So
do
how did they devolve you anyway? Is that technology we could use to devolve others of your kind?
Not technology, just a thing that we can do.
I would.
Not technology,
What a
not
wild
technology.
statement to just say. In this 0 hour moment, can I try and do something stupid?
Sure thing.
Or
Have I?
you won't be here
attempted-
next week, so
Yeah.
you won't have to live with the consequences.
Have I attempted before to help Logan pull memories out? Have I done this? Because it sounds like something I would do.
You've spoken to them, you've connected with them, you've never tried to recover
Yeah,
or
cool.
like
I would
block a memory.
I will expeditedly ask Logan for permission to come into their mind palace.
I really hope that Logan does not expect this from every haircut that he gets from now on.
Now we will look. I will be right back, everyone, and look at Logan. And mind link. So I guess Dewan, you'll feel the mind link stop between us. That I just leave open. I'm like,
You'll just hear before you cut yourself off. Be careful. Be safe.
yeah, I got it. I will. Okay. Logan,
Yeah.
I don't know if, how, or what will happen, or if this will work. But I have an idea. If you let me.
An idea is.
What if we try to speed run you getting your memories back?
Sounds like a disaster. I mean,
Okay. I don't know what you want me to do, but I want to like come into Logan's mind palace and try to like, in all of the like pictures that are erased and all of the like blank spaces, I want to be trying to like recover them like a restorer who works in a museum restoring ancient paintings.
But like, well.
Yes, but well.
Dawn, what is Noe doing?
In a trance.
Like, eyes rolled back.
Dewan?
Sorry.
Dawn, what is Noe doing?
Oh.
Dawn was also in a trance.
Yeah.
Hardcore disassociated there. So Dawan can form very strong mental links with people?
Nawi.
Nawi. We are the same individual. We are connected. Nobody knows. But Nawan. That's our ship name, by the way. We've come up with it on our one-on-one. Nawan. Nawi can form very strong mental links with. She's going down a memory road with Logan.
Oh, kind of like the
It's like the group message, but much more connected.
Yeah, the memory dump.
The memory
thing.
dump. You had a memory dump with her.
Um,
Where she dumped the memories onto you.
do you think I could help? Maybe try to help?
I feel like, why not? The power of friendship can solve all problems.
Mara's gonna cast Enhance Ability on both Logan and Nawi and do Owl's Wisdom.
Hiroki, if you think that your powers can help or facilitate things in any manner, I don't see why you shouldn't try.
I'd be certainly happy to help. And Ray, I'd like to cast Greater Restoration.
Okay.
Ray's like, fuck, it's right there in the notes. Greater Restoration. It's right there in the notes. It's right there in the notes.
So Noe, I do want you to still make a check for me.
Absolutely.
It is a wisdom check, so it is under enhanceability.
Sick. Just a check.
As if it was a spellcasting check. So
Okay.
wisdom and proficiency.
Okay.
That greater restoration has removed the disadvantage that would have been on the check.
And now you have advantage because I cast.
And now you have advantage because Al's wisdom.
I'm just dancing in the background, I guess.
I really enjoy Jacaranda being here all the time, and we're like doing stuff with Jacaranda. It's like I literally don't get what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you both have 3 temporary hit points.
Sick.
Because that's part of the spell.
What?
It is?
So if either of you fall, you're canceled.
It's 21. Yeah, 15 plus 6, 21.
Okay. I also need,
Oh.
real quick, as our last roll,
Mm-hmm.
Hiroki, can you make me a wisdom saving throw,
Oh
please?
boy.
This
Sure.
is
Oh, I have advantage on wisdom saving throws, period, because I'm psychic.
so.
Because I'm psychic.
What this is, just a little bit of context. So Naui is connecting magically to an entity that Naui does not have a connection with.
I
It's
have
not a
no
fey
business doing
creature.
this.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not a fey creature. It's not a regular creature. And you are now pumping your own magical energies
Enemies.
through that connection. If you fail this wisdom saving throw, you will be pulled in mentally as well to this situation.
Well, I rolled a synthetic
Wait.
20.
Okay, I was gonna say wait because you Hiroki asked Dawn, so I think Dawn would also cast enhanced ability on Hiroki because he's gonna help her loved one. Come on.
Okay, so you can take that at advantage.
So you
if
can take that
wanted.
advantage if you want.
If you wanted a crit. You wanted to try for a crit.
Sure.
You have Owl's wisdom.
No, the synthetic 20 is still higher.
Okay. So there's this exchanging of energies. You feel your warmth, your energy pulse through this restorative kind of wave, but you also feel a little of Naui's connection that is being formed here. It's not like the connection between your rings or the connection that you've had with Naui previously. It's almost like trying to build something without having the blueprints to do so. It's just kind of sheer force of will at this point that Naui is forcing this connection to this degree. And you feel yourself pulled by that kind of maelstrom of energy and memories. And for a moment, you feel like if you're not careful, you're going to slip straight in and be stuck in the middle of all this. But thankfully, you have more than enough fortitude to not be forcefully pulled in, at the very least. But having succeeded the saving throw, you can choose, if you so wish, to, with Nawi's permission, join this link from her side. So you would
Yeah,
both,
we always knock here.
you would both be witness to whatever the next events were to happen. But that's with Nawi's permission and by your choice as well.
Naui, do you mind?
Me, Austin is rolling really quick. Hi. I don't mind, but it could be very dangerous. I'm sorry. And now he like shuts the door.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. You feel that those twisting memories, that violent energy begin to slowly dissipate as that protectiveness from Naui kind of washes over you. Okay.
He's like that.
You find yourself shunted back into the room.
They'll all tell you about it. She's just like that.
Did what I could. It's up to Naui and Logan now.
She charged down a hallway again, didn't she?
Slammed the door on me.
Don't tell her that.
Oh, he's gonna have some fighting words.
And with that slight bombshell, we'll go ahead and wrap up the session there.
Okay.
We'll
This
see.
could be interesting.
Exactly what happens next time.
Oh my god.
I sit in a trance for a session.
Yeah.
Yes,
Full
exactly.
session goes by.
Everyone
Like,
else gets
well,
on
this
the
is gonna
road.
take a while. We'll go
Mhm.
gather things we need and come back.
Logan's haircut is all done. It's now a nice.
Logan sitting stock still.
Just
really
during the
easy.
trance.
That's like the perfect time to get a
I know,
haircut.
yeah. It was really easy to cut his hair.
True. Okay, cool. Let's go round the horn real quick. Give people a chance to plug what they want to plug. I know we went a little over, but we started a little late, so hopefully that evens out. Yeah, gonna start with Rochelle.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Dragon Gem here on Twitch, the Dragon Gem on Twitter. You can catch me on my own channel on Sundays where I play lots of puzzle games. All the proceeds for my channel are donated to local animal shelters. And I'm here on Mondays playing Mara, who sometimes is murdery and sometimes is not.
Jesse.
Hello, I'm Jessie Jahoos the Moose on the interwebs. I do art things. And that's about all you need to know about me. Sometimes I post art things. Now that I'm done with my resume, I will be posting things. I'm gonna post things tonight, damn it. Yeah.
Austin.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. Find me over on Twitter at SailorSquid It's at Sailor SCT Austin. I'm a game writer, designer, performer, and friend. The best place to find me and what I'm up to right now is Twitter. We'll see how that goes. But right now, it's
Right.
still Twitter.
Yeah.
For now.
That's an excellent point.
Back to you, Ray.
Alice.
Hello, I am Ellis, also known as So Much Geek, and also known as Jacaranda, who's no longer a cleric. I do things, and usually on Twitter right now is where I post the things that I do. Otherwise, on Instagram at SEW Much Geek. Yep. That's all of it.
And Akemi.
Hi, I'm Akemi. I played Hiroki, your hot boy magical girl warlock. You can find me on the internets where I exist at Ninja Penguin AM, like Twitter, which again, where I exist for now. I make games, I play games, I do stuff. Oh, and I just got engaged.
Congratulations again from stream.
Back to you, Ray.
Love to hear it. We love to hear it. As always, support all these wonderful people in everything that they do. They absolutely deserve it. Hi, hello. I'm Ray. You can find me at Red Mage Ray on Twitter. I am a professional TTRPG GM and content creator. I am usually found either up front or behind the scenes here at Friends Roll Dice. I'm still coming off a very, very long moderation shift from our fantastic charity stream, which was bloody wonderful. We smashed our targets, and that was wonderful. But I would be lying if I wasn't like 3 days worth of sleep in at this point. So just I need to pass out for like 12 hours at some point. But yeah, huge thank you to everyone who was involved in that. That was blooming fantastic. But yeah, that's kind of all I can really talk about right now. Lots of gears that are still, I say gears turning, it's more like wheels spinning at the moment. I'm waiting for things to go. So yeah, just keep an eye on my Twitter for any updates and things like that. Sweet. With that, that'll go ahead and wrap up our session here. Big thank you to those of you who are watching, either live or via VOD or YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you, as always. We're going to go ahead and spread the love that you have sent us here elsewhere. Please make sure to take care of yourselves. A big thank you to everyone who keeps us going here at Friends Roll Dice. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Stay medicated. Wear your bloody masks. And we'll see you next time.